Hello. It's been a while since I've logged on. This is not live because I kind of just wanted to do a video. It says I have 30 minutes where I can do that. I'm on the George Washington Bridge heading to the family, and my intermittent fasting window will be closing in about an hour because I broke my fast today with I broke my fast at 5:40, so 8 hours from that is coming. It's coming in the, it's heading in that direction. So I'm having a really great time with this intermittent fasting ever since being sick. Something else I haven't talked about in a while. Words were not I was not able to really truly get the words out. That it was difficult. It was a period of not quite understanding what was going on to me, and I was conflicted for a couple of weeks, and I think I'm 100% now. That's pretty much over. All those feelings of being uncomfortable with trying to say what happened, and all of this happened on the 18th of February. The 18th of February, there was a huge snowstorm here in the tri-state area. And what happened was, let me give you something better to look at than just me. Boom. So what happened was, like this, I don't want to get pulled over. I'm like, you can't be driving with your distractive lights, sir. I think I should stop because you know what I look like. I don't have to. I'm just going to play the shadows for a moment, if that's okay. Being sick was a very scary thing because I never really get sick. When I was in the bar business, I used to always say I have a 24-hour cold, and I would put on long john pants, long john shirt, and jump underneath the covers, and I would have these amazing duvet covers that had like feathers and all that kind of stuff down inside of it. And oh man, I'll be in there like just suffering from just sweating everything out, and I would be able to go to work the next day because I was bartending. And you're picking up all these people's straws and touching your face more than you can imagine. And from time to time, like once every 3-4 months, I'll get a cold, but it only lasts about a day. And there was just 2 times where I did catch the flu, and that lasted about a week. And it was only that one day where you were like, oh my God, this is not good. This is pretty bad. I hope I'm gonna make it. Like, you don't know if, you kind of feel like you start playing with the idea like this feels like death. And then you quickly, you snap out of it. But, and those were the experiences that I had where I was sick. In the 10-year period, I was only sick once. And the 10 years before that, I was sick like 7 times. and that was when I was in the bar business. So I say that to say that it was very strange for me because I kept feeling like, dude, am I sick? Am I sick? Around the 15th of February, from the 15th all the way to, sorry, this is my navigation acting up over here. It's Bluetooth is connecting to the Bluetooth, and maybe there's, all right. That's because I put it on the maps. I want to make sure I make the right turn onto the Palisades Parkway. The Palisades Interstate Parkway. That's what it's the Palisades Interstate Parkway. So I just want to be in the right page here. Oh, and you can hear I got the struts and the shocks and all that stuff replaced. I don't know if I talked about that before. So that's pretty cool. You don't hear all that banging and all the issues that the car had. So anyway, around the 15th, 16th, 17th, I was asking myself, am I getting sick? Dude, are you getting sick? Like, it was just so weird. And I have this thing where I have breathed into, if I ever felt like the sniffles in the last couple of years, I would breathe from a 400 watt heater, a very small little heater that I got from Aldi's or Aldi's, depending on, you know, how bougie you are. And what I was gonna say. So this little heater, I would breathe in this little heater, and I would do these 10-minute sessions of breathing in the hot air, and then I would blow my nose for, like, you know, a couple of hours. All this mucus would come out, and I was good to go. So I never was really sick more than, like, you know, I never really got sick. I just, if I felt like the sniffles were coming for the last couple of years, I just breathed in this this contraption, you know, this air, this hot air. So I did that a couple of times, and it didn't really work. I didn't feel better. I actually felt like really tired. Then I started to get these aches around the 17th. These aches were on my back, the 17th of February, that I was like, whoa. My son then says to me, he's like, Dad, I also feel very achy, and my back is hurting. And he didn't want to eat something, and he's like, I really thought I wanted to eat. I didn't eat, and I'm not hungry. I says, well, I don't want to eat neither, son. So now the 20th happened. We're at the 20th. Well, that was the 18th. On the 19th, my son is like, or the 20th. By the 20th, my son is like, Dad, how do you feel? I said, son, I don't feel good. My back is really hurting, and my head is constantly cold. And how are you feeling? He says, I feel great. I feel good. I'm hungry. I feel perfect. So whatever it was that my son and I were going through, he snapped out of it right away. That's when I was like, yo, I'm going to a hotel. So by the 21st, I went to a hotel, and it was a suite where I had a bedroom door. So that was beautiful. So I told LJ to not even come around me. And, you know, but she would come in and she would check on me. I woke up a few times. She was rubbing my feet. You know, she was like, you know, really took good care of me. It was pretty, it was an amazing sight to see. It was the receiving of love that I got, that this woman gave me, that I accepted from her, that I received from her, was just absolutely incredible. It's hard to describe. So I'm in the hotel for now. I stood in that particular hotel about 5-6 days, and then I get in this 5-6 day period. What the experiences were like were one that I've never experienced before. There was a part where for a 4-day period I couldn't stop crying, where I cried to anyone that reached out to me over the phone, anyone who reached out to me via email. I cried, and I cried for everything. Mind you, I couldn't even use my phone. I couldn't concentrate enough to text. So I wasn't using my phone. I wasn't on social media, not one time. I never turned on the television in the bedroom. I was dying. I felt like I might not make it tomorrow. I might not make it to see tomorrow. And it was so bizarre because there was this thing that was happening to me. Like, my stomach was in so much pain. It was as if it was hunger pains. But I could not utter the strength to eat something. And everything I put in my mouth tastes foul. It tastes disgusting. And this ordeal that I went through, from, let's say, the 20th, or let's say the 18th, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, to the 25th, all I had was a piece of toast, a small, like 2 bites of a plantain, and I try to spread the plantain and mash it up over the bread, over the toast. And it was like a potato bread. And I tried my best to eat that. And before that, that was like one of the last things I tried to eat before. I think I went 2 days straight without eating anything. But I drank over a gallon of water every day. About 64, between, let's say, 70 and 75 ounces of water during this ordeal I was able to drink. But a soda or a juice, I couldn't do it. It was just absolutely gross. The smells of all foods was so disgusting. My tongue was so dry that I was scraping it and nothing would be on my fingernail. It was just that, it felt like a cat's tongue, where they have all those little tiny, when I say cat, I'm talking like big cat, cheetahs and all that. They have those rough tongues where the tongue actually has these little tiny, little nails, little teeth in them. It felt like that. It felt like my tongue had hundreds of little tiny teeth. It was so dry. It was the most bizarre feeling to have this dry tongue in your mouth. You're still able to drink water, but the tongue will remain dry. Unlike any experience I ever had. Mind you, every time I'm using the bathroom 5 times a day. And the stench that comes from your human body is unlike anything I ever smelled. And it's all greasy and oily. So I was getting these cramps all around my stomach, and I would have to push in to the stomach to calm down the cramps. It was so bizarre. I had no ability to eat, yet I am starving, yet my brain just doesn't want any part of decision making. And I'm crying for 4 days. Crying to my children as they didn't. Let me just say this. It's like I'm holding back the tears, and tears are falling down my eyes, and I'm waiting and controlling my words before I say the next words. Like, Daddy loves you, thank you for calling. And it was very short conversations, like maybe a minute. And then I would cry for like 5 minutes after I hang up. And then I would think of something. I would think about my eldest child, and I would just start crying. I would think about my mom. I would think about anything. It wasn't like had to be somber, or it wasn't tears of joy or tears of pain. It just nonstop tears. It was like this emotional, bizarro world, like a house of mirrors, but with crying. And on different mirrors, you see yourself in different ways. On different times, it was a cry of a different cry. It was a different type of boo-hoo. It was a different type of, in other words, each cry was not the same as the last. And it maybe was even a rotation of emotion. But that was so bizarre for me, because I'm not that kind of a person. I'm not like that, like, come on. So we go through this stomach cramping, having to press your body, and then it was the passing out. It was the, I don't believe I can sleep again, but yet you sleep again. And here's the thing, I did take the Z-Pack, and I also took the Z-Pack, and then I took the hydrochloroquine. So these were the two things that I was taking. And I also was doing zinc. I was trying to do the zinc lozenges because of that dryness of the tongue, and it didn't work. It was so gross. I couldn't take the smell. I couldn't take the smell of any kind of lotion. I couldn't take the smell of any kind of soap. I couldn't take the smell of any kind of food. It would make me so sick. It would make me hurt. It was painful. The back pain was the worst experience I ever experienced. It felt like I had a car on my back. And the good thing with me is that my breathing was good. And I would lay down in the bed, and I would just start, I would sing. I would just take 2 or 3 minutes and just sing something, just to hear whether or not I'm breathing or not. Can I breathe? Is it in my lungs? Did it make it to my lungs? Am I gonna suffer from this? Am I going to now, need a ventilator, beyond, all these things, all these nightmares. But the whole entire time, being that I didn't watch any television, it's been, people that know me know it's been years and years and years and years since I've watched any type of television or news program. I get my news secondhand. I get it from different outlets, but I'm not sitting there watching the news and yelling and screaming with Don Lemon or anything like that, and blaming Democrats or Republicans and none of that crap. I'm not. So I didn't have this fear like when I was singing. It was a part of me that sang so that I can hear how my lungs sound, but not like, oh my God, I'm going to die. It wasn't like that. Oh my God, I hope I can sing. So it was just like autopilot. So I would just be laying there, and I would just start to slowly just get some of the words out, and then I started to listen to music, because I couldn't hear words. Words became very painful. So I couldn't really hear words. It was too much. And I'm I got this pain in my back. I'm going through this, I call it the 7 days of hell. And that 7 days of hell, I had this pain in my back that was so, I literally felt like I had a car on my back and it was somebody jumping in the car. It was like that. The pain was so excruciating. And that dry tongue and the smells, everything smelled horrible. And the cramping of my stomach and using the bathroom 5 times a day. It felt like, let's say you have a like a tube of toothpaste, and you're running out of toothpaste. So what do? You roll up the toothpaste and you push all the toothpaste out of the toothpaste and you get the most you can out of it. That's what it felt like. It felt like my intestines were being squeezed like you would do a toothpaste. Yeah, like you would do a toothpaste. You know what I'm talking about. A tube of toothpaste, and that's what it felt like. And I could feel it moving. The pain was moving from one section to the other, and the bathroom. It was so gross, so disgusting, and then it became so painful because you use the bathroom and it's now burning you. You're like, it was like as if I went to the most spiciest Mexican restaurant, and the next day, when you're sitting on the toilet for, that half an hour going, why the hell did I have that so much hot sauce? Even though it felt so good eating it, this was like that, maybe times 3, where it felt like if anything got on you, okay, that it would burn your skin. That's how it was like messing with my mind like that. But it was, and the smell, my goodness, it didn't even smell like what normally you have smelled throughout your life. And I have children, and I've smelled so many different smells when it comes from that direction. And it's, oh my God, I've had my children just blow up a room. But let me just say this. The smell was something that you kind of say to yourself, I know I never smelt this smell before, but I know that there's this inner knowing. There's an inner knowing that this particular smell it's familiar in a weird way, even though you've never smelt this smell before. Maybe it's a trueness to you, like this is a smell that represents you. Maybe it has some sort of signature on it, a signature smell, something that you in other words, I did not run out screaming thinking something is, like I shouldn't, this shouldn't be happening right now. So it almost, here's another analogy. It's almost as if someone would walk in the room and go, oh my God, what is that smell? But they would not equate it to that. They would equate it to something else. But it was very grotesque. So it was really good to be in the hotel by myself, because I didn't want the kids and I didn't want LJ there. I was like, yo, but LJ kept coming. One day I forgot to change my underwear and I laid in the bed. And I woke up because she comes in and I'm like, oh my goodness. And the sheets, like anytime I passed gas, it was like almost projectile onto the sheets and onto like where you're, like if you're in the fetal position, it's like, so I woke up to that. And what does she do? She got her gloves, she got her 2 masks on, and she's changing the freaking sheets, man. She's making the bed. I received so much love from this woman. And it's like, I'm so thankful and I'm so humbled by that love that was given to me. And the love of the people that called me, the people that reached out to me, the people that reached out through through YouTube, the people that reached out through emails. So many people donated money. It's like a beautiful thing, this community that we have here. That's why I can say this stuff, you know. I can say this kind of stuff because I know it's you I'm talking to, and it's almost like we have some sort of connection, you know. And this experience started to dissipate, and my kids was like, we want to see you, and I was like, no, not now. So around the 15th day is when, around the 13th, 14th day, when I started to feel a little better. So by the 15th day, I was like, I got a call for some passive income that I have, and somebody was like, we want to stay 3 days. And I'm like, oh man, I gotta go get the, you know, change the sheets, do the laundry, make sure and let me tell you, this passive income has turned into a job. It's kind of like sucks. So I was like, LJ, come on, let's just go together. So we all went as a family. I'm masked up, the kids are masked up, wifey, LJ's masked up with the double mask, you know. And this is my 15th day. I'm no longer sick, but I still just am achy. So we had left the hotel. Mind you, when the first hotel I was in, when I stood all those days, I'm just making sure that was not my turn. No, that's not my turn. So we go up, take care of the property. I stepped out of the car. I didn't drive. I stepped out of the car to use the bathroom at the local market that's there. You know, they know me and all that. I said, hey, let me use your restroom. And I used the restroom there, and still haven't eaten. Can't eat, don't want to eat, not interested in any kind of food whatsoever. On the way back, we're on the way back, I tell LJ, I'm like, take me to the nearest hotel. So she, you know, gets on her phone, boom, 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 goes online, boom, books us a room. And this is another suite where we had our own door. So we have the door is closed. I'm in the room. The kids and her are in. There's another bed and there's another pull-out. And you know, they're happy. You know, they're watching TV. I'm in the other room. The next morning, I'm just sitting on the edge of the bed, looking outside this view, and it's all wooded area. The horrible woods, though. You know how the kudzu has destroyed all of the woods in the northeast. And I heard a lot of the South is suffering from that. All these vines killing all these trees. It's just really sad. But I digress from that and say that my children are now asking me. They're saying, Dad, how do you feel? And I'm like, I don't feel sick anymore, and the pain is out of my back. So that's like 2 days so far. There's no more pain in my back. And they say, why are you just staring outside the window? And I was like, I don't know. They're like, how do you feel? And I was like, well, the only way I could describe it is that I feel like I just can't get right. I just feel like I'm in a computer program where I'm being maybe rebooted and I'm not 100% yet. So they was like, how many percentages are you, Dad? And I said, I would say 70%. And that was what I went by for the last couple of weeks. My friends and family would ask, how are you? And I would be like, oh, I'm 85%. I was 85% for so long. And then I made it up to like 99%. And then finally now, like I feel now, and I felt for the last, week and a half, is 100%. And I feel great. But I'm getting distracted by this car that's to the left of me. Okay. Yeah. So, let me at least turn on this backlight. Maybe this backlight. What do you see? Oh, okay. And it was just so. Wait, maybe I'll do this there. Boom. That's a little better. So I just could not, I just felt so off. I felt so weird, especially being in that hotel room where if I lift up the window, all I can see is the other hotel windows, and all their blinds were down. There was no way I could see the sky. There were light came into the room, but basically we had the shade halfway, and then at night closed the shade all the way down. But so I couldn't understand what it was that I was seeing, what it was that I was feeling. I just couldn't put my finger on it. I just couldn't. I just like, what is going on with me? So I told the kids, I just feel like I'm only 70% back. And I slowly, when I got to around 85%, I started to say, wait a minute. I'm 85%. I'm feeling better. I'm feeling like I'm booted, like I'm being put back into the world, you know, like I was away from the world for so long. I started to feel like maybe I'm being put back into the world. Then one day I'm in the car. Now I'm driving because LJ did all the driving for that period of time. And let me just say this. I didn't understand what it was that I was seeing until I saw differently. I did not understand that what I was feeling or what I was going through was the fact that for about 5 days I was only seeing in 2D, literally, where I couldn't tell how far the trees were from the actual window that I was looking at the trees. And I couldn't tell where the sky and the trees separated. I couldn't tell how high or tall the sky was. I didn't understand it at the time until I was able to do that. Like they say, the human eye needs the red lights of the car in front of you to go on, because you cannot tell the difference when that car stops and it has red lights and it stops. It's a total different thing. So if you slam on the brakes, those red lights allow you to see how far you are. I was unable to do that. There was no red lights that would give that to me. It was total 2D. And finally, I was able to see in 3D. And that's when I realized, oh my God, I was only able to see in 2D all this time. What the hell? Oh my goodness. It was like my body was resetting itself. And after all this time, all I can say to you is, and there's so much more I can say. Maybe I'll answer some questions in the comment section if you leave some questions there. But let me just say this. All I can say is that I feel optimistic. So optimistic. More optimistic than I felt in quite some time. This is the most optimistic I've been in 10 years. Where I have this feeling has come over me in the last week and a half of just it's just this thing. I can't quite put my finger on it, but the only way I can look at it is optimism. I feel so optimistic. I'm feeling better than I felt in I don't even know how long. And by the way, I've worked out every day for 7 days straight. And before that, I worked out at least 3 days in that particular week. But let me tell you, things are going to be different. I feel like I was under some sort of review. I feel like, and let me say I feel like, I don't want to say I feel like, I would argue, or I would like to throw on the table, I would like to put on the table that I feel like I have been given some sort of second chance. Like I was under review and they were like, we'll let them back in. So I'm back in this reality and feeling very optimistic, feeling very good, on a bit of a natural high, haven't smoked, haven't partied since this has happened. So, what does that really all mean? We gotta find out, because I'm gonna tell you all about it. Did I just go too far? No. No, we only took me 36 minutes. This usually takes 30 minutes for me to get there. So I went too far. I'm gonna have to turn around. Let me set my navigation up really quickly. Oh, and let me just say this really quickly. Eating.
In 0.9 miles, exit the highway. Then keep right.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm only. Yeah, ooh, it says 20 minutes. 13 miles. I totally got into this conversation and missed my turn. It's okay. Everything happens for a reason. Probably the best turn of my life about to happen right here. Well, let me not be all silly about it. You are appreciated. Thank you for watching. If you got any value out of this, you know, we're on the value for value system. And that's, I'll put that in the description. Check that out. You are appreciated. I feel amazing. Amazing. And it took about 30 days, this ordeal. Let me tell you. Minimum. 30 days. But there was a 7 days of hell.
Keep right.
And I'm very thankful to be here. Alive. Strong. Thank you.
Prepare to turn left in 1,000 feet.